Hey, welcome back. Today we're going to play 270, and I'm going to show you a game that just happened in the public lobby against Abraham Lincoln. I chose to be George Washington. Now today I'm really going to focus on the philosophy and the strategy side of it, and so it's not necessarily commentary of a play-by-play. I'll sometimes get ahead or kind of backtrack on previous turns, and so bear with me. This is a recording of a game that just happened a few minutes ago. On turn number one, I entered into Classic Old South as well as Gun Lobby and Evangelicals. I was expecting Abraham Lincoln to maybe go New York or Florida, possibly go for national groups or kind of pressure in the Old South. And he decided to go 2 pips into Florida, which gave him an uncontested route to swing states. Now, he does have a $130,000 swing state bonus. I really need to prevent him from getting African American and swing states. And so I am going to go up in Classic Old South before I finish off any of my national group funding. And again, he spends in Iowa, in Pennsylvania, and in Wisconsin, which are actually not African American states. Now, again, maybe he was trying to avoid clashes. So again, it worked out. Maybe he thought I might guess in Arizona or guess in Georgia on turn number 2. But again, I had to go up and get that bonus. So maybe he was overthinking it just a little bit. Turn number 3, I am going to expand into Georgia and South Carolina using exactly $70,000, which is what George Washington gets as a Old South bonus, and finish off my Gun Lobby, the cheaper of the national groups. So I will have a pure cash advantage the rest of the game. And on turn number 4, of course, since I invested turn 1 in Evangelicals, I need to go ahead and finish that off on turn 4, which doesn't leave me very many options except for going up in Alabama and Mississippi. I am going to try to maybe clash or get into Michigan for defense of purposes. Now, one mistake, again, that Abraham Lincoln possibly made the previous turn was not expanding into swing states in case I did steal in Pennsylvania or Iowa. But he did make up for it this turn by low spending. So now he has way more cash, and it gives him several options. He could maybe go to Texas. He could definitely pressure me in Virginia, North Carolina, and Georgia, or maybe all of my Old South states and really go for the African American bonus. But I'm kind of playing defense here by going into New York. So I am going to go 2 pips into New York. If there's a clash, I have some clash equity with that free cash advantage rolling my way. I'm also going to go up in Delaware and in the District of Columbia, just some cheap African American states to maybe prevent him from getting the African American bonus. So again, my focus is to defend against AA and Town and Gown. He does have New Hampshire, Iowa, and Arizona in his control, so just New York would give him Town and Gown. So instead, what he does is he has some Old South pressure. So he is now going to be in every single Old South state, which I think is a good move. Now, one thing he does do is he spends all of his swing state money in Iowa and locks it. I'm not really sure what that was all about. Maybe he thought I would go for a bait and switch and go for swing states, and that would be maybe a state that kept swing states in his column. But again, I think he overthought that. So turn number 6, this is where I'm going to expand in the African American states. So I now have the bigger of the anchor African American states with New York, $150,000. You need $330,000 for African American. I do have pressure in the Old South. He's got the swing state bonus for pressure in Virginia, North Carolina. And now he's shown that he is capable of locking states. So he's locked Iowa. I don't know if he's going to overspend. So instead of maybe choosing like a state like North Carolina to defend or Virginia to defend, I'm going to instead invest money into a state that I don't have to the 3rd pip and get it to that qualifying pip. That way I can keep the Old South bonus and also work toward that African American bonus. So I did save $133,000, and that was strategic because I thought maybe I could double pip Texas before, or maybe kind of catch him off guard and maybe 1 pip California and Texas later on, especially if he decides to just stay in swing states. Now, he does lock North Carolina and he locked Louisiana. Those are two big investments. Now, North Carolina, he did have the swing state bonus, so that's not all cash. But Louisiana, he basically flipped it, and he did not take Old South away from me. It really sets him up for oil and gas maybe later on. But again, I don't love that play. If you're going to go for a flip like that, there needs to be kind of more oomph behind it, like take away a bonus or get a bonus. And that did not have that with that move. Now, because he's gone after Louisiana and he's gone after North Carolina and Iowa, I am now going to definitely defend Virginia because I think that is where he's likely to attack. And he did attack and we clashed. So that was a good move. And by going up in New York, I'm officially going for African American. And I do secure the $80,000 bonus. Now, I did save $24,000. I could have invested it into Utah and maybe gone for a backdoor Arizona, DC, Utah with New York. But I kind of want to keep a little bit of cash. Again, I don't really know how Texas and California are going to play into this. But turn 8 is all about Florida pressure. I am technically using my African American and Old South money in Virginia, but that extra money that I got, I'm kind of spending more in Florida to maybe put some fake swing state pressure as well as African American pressure on Abraham Lincoln. So if he's spending money there, that's less money he can use to defend Pennsylvania or Michigan later on, or maybe even Arizona. So kind of my philosophy there. I did also think about Georgia. So I did double pip Georgia. He did not go for it. Did not go for Virginia either. But I was thinking if he's going to spend that swing state money, he's probably going to put it either in Georgia or Virginia. And he actually only spent $200,000. So just 1 pip into Texas. So Abraham Lincoln has $48,000 of manufacturing. He already has a locked North Carolina. He has Wisconsin and Florida for the ag bonus if he goes up into Texas. He has Pennsylvania and North Carolina for manufacturing. He has swing state bonus to protect Pennsylvania. And he, could protect Florida or Pennsylvania, probably not both. And so on turn number 9, my thinking is, how can I defend against Abraham Lincoln's manufacturing, his ag bonus, and potentially oil and gas? So he does have, again, Louisiana, but I'm going to go ahead and flip a few states here, Pennsylvania being the big one, and Arizona. I'm also going to enter into Colorado, which is kind of a sneaky Latino if I get kind of continue to have Illinois uncontested. And I get one of the two big states of California and Texas with New York and Illinois. That Colorado move kind of is sneaky now, and since I have National Grid money, I thought, why not? Plus, again, Abraham Lincoln only being on the first pip of Texas and not being able to go up to that third pip because he has such a high swing state bonus. I can subtract the $130,000 from his cash and know, he was not getting to the third pip that time. So again, I probably would have low spit if I was Abe Lincoln. He did commit $200,000 to Texas and did not get a bonus for it, which is not a good move. And again, I'm only having the Old South and African American bonus, but I'm also having the evangelical and the gun lobby. And the longer this game goes and the more that cash starts to stack up, that's going to be a bigger advantage for me. So it's turn, it's turn 10. And I could edit that out, but I just want to prove that this is raw and off the top of my dome here. That turn number 10 is all about me, again, continuing the defense against manufacturing. I'm going to enter into Ohio, Indiana, and Kentucky. But also, I'm going to make a kind of a halfway effort to get the high-tech bonus by going up for Michigan and defending Pennsylvania. I think that, by him going up $200,000 potentially in Texas would prevent him from going up more than 2 pips in Pennsylvania, but he does get the swing state bonus back. So that is, again, if he's going to have any chance of winning, he's going to have to make a move here. Now, this is really where it gets kind of sneaky. I'm actually going to double pip into Texas because if he goes up in Texas, he's not getting anything. He's got swing state money. He's going to attack me somewhere. Last turn, he went for Georgia, which again was a good move. It did take away my Old South money, but it did not take away my African American money, partially because I went up in Michigan earlier. And so I would like to get that Old South money back. And so I am going to go up in Arkansas as well as Utah and Massachusetts. That's where I'm gonna spend my high-tech money because that will allow me to get Town and Gown. Plus, if I happen to lose one of, let's say, Michigan or Maryland later on, that Massachusetts and Utah combination of high-tech will allow me to get that bonus back. Now, Abe Lincoln, he's like, no, you can't have that high-tech bonus. And so he actually goes up in Delaware and in Michigan. And so that temporarily will take away my high-tech money. I get my Old South money back. But again, Abraham Lincoln is not like progressing through more and more bonuses. He's just playing defense. And now I can go up in Texas and most likely clash. So this is turn number 12. I'm kind of expecting to clash. But again, I have that Massachusetts and Utah, which will get me Town and Gown and high tech back. And I have a pure cash advantage. So because of that national group money, if we keep clashing over and over again on that third pip in Texas, that's a win for me. Sure, Abe Lincoln might be getting some big money in swing states, but that's only going to help him in a few spots. And he already has control. Maybe he might be able to flip Pennsylvania or lock Michigan here. I expect a Georgia defense, but I have this African American and Old South money, and I might as well go for it. I thought about Arizona. He does take it and lock it, and he does, again, block Georgia. But again, if he's committing some money to Georgia every turn, that's fine. It kind of cancels out what we have, and I'm expanding more than he is. So I like a lot where we are. Again, there's high tech and Town and Gown back. It's pretty much a win at this point. It's just a matter of how many EVs. Now, again, as a newer player in this spot, there are ways to lose it. If you were to just kind of over defend and maybe go for a steal that's not necessary, like maybe let's say a Florida flip here at this point, like that doesn't really do anything for you. It just gives your opponent a chance to maybe force a ballot and get into these open states a lot faster. So turn number 13, I'm going for Georgia again, and this time Abraham Lincoln does not defend it. Gonna attack Michigan using my high-tech money, and I'm going to also go for New Hampshire. So I'm using Town and Gown. He does go one pip ahead of me in Pennsylvania, but again, he didn't go for Texas. So now we have manufacturing, which is over $120,000 a turn. And again, since we have Colorado, now we have Latino. So that move from way back when, again, is paying dividends. Now, it helps that he's not in Illinois, pressure against me. So, every game's different. So again, I have 5 of the 10 state groups. I have 2 national groups, and I have basically Texas is on lockdown. If I have $127,000 of manufacturing plus Latino plus national group funds, like there's no way Abe Lincoln is taking Texas back. Plus, I have a path to get high tech back. I can get into California. Maybe we clash, maybe we don't. We end up not clashing. And so, yeah, at this point, we clash in Michigan. That's okay. Doesn't matter. He steals Mississippi. Woohoo. But again, we're not using our Town and Gown to, save or defend New York. He's not in New York, which is kind of rare for an Abraham Lincoln not being in New York. We're able to expand into Missouri, into Minnesota, all the other Town and Gown states in the Northeast, get those EVs up. And so we're well over 270 with 349. Again, we're just at the point where at this turn, how can we get into more states? This game's not going to last very much longer. And so I'm looking at maybe where he can make some last-ditch efforts. And then as the clock gets kind of down to 30 seconds, now it's about, hey, let's just get into states. Let's force this ballot. There's really no reason to delay the inevitable. And so, again, you may have noticed my 10% phone battery popping up. Make sure that when you play 270 that you have a full battery so you don't lose the game because your phone dies. That's happened to me before. Also, don't play in the shower. I do that a lot, and it's easy to misclick when the screen gets wet. And definitely do not play 270 and drive because that is dangerous. But if you play 270, hopefully you like and subscribe to the 270 Academy because that is a good thing. And I hope that you enjoyed this video enough that maybe you learned something. Maybe it makes you want to play a game with me down the road. Have a good day.